All right, you're on.
Hey folks, this is the WooFDriver finally able to come back to you live. Now I'm moving around. Your lights aren't on if you want them on. I'm moving around now because we got some unbelievable pictures here. We are near Harper's Ferry, coming into what would be considered, I guess, the outskirts of Harper's Ferry. And we've got a full moon above us, or very close to that, 3/4 of a moon. And it's right shining down on the Shenandoah River. Oh, sorry, the Potomac. The Potomac meets the Shenandoah somewhere in Harper's Ferry. So I'm not too far off saying that. But it is a beautiful night. It's actually a little warm. So we're going slow. We're taking our time with the wolf pack. But they're enjoying the sights and the sound and getting a little bit of exercise in. And that's one of the reasons we have Curtis with us. Curtis is the ghost hunter. I talked about him before. And that's what we do. We do some paranormal exploration, especially in the warmer months, because it gives us a chance to rest the dogs, as we're doing, and to explore where we're at and surroundings. So being on the CNO, there's just so much history here from the Civil War, from even the colonization. I mean, way back when. So I'm just focusing here. Excuse me, but I mean, these are just shots that are unbelievable. As I'm doing this, there's all kinds of bugs here, probably everything. Walk down to the water, saw some snakes, so you never know. Okay, boys, they want to, boys and girls, they want to get rolling, but I haven't quite want to roll yet because I want to get some of these shots in. We have been stopped for a little while because of, we just saw, sorry we couldn't take you there, what we think was an old lock house from way back in the day, and it's pretty intact except for no roof, but I mean it's absolutely cool as can be inside. I took a lot of pictures. We lit up the spirit box and all the paranormal equipment, and we did not get any hits on that. So that was a little bit of a bummer, but as Curtis says, that just shows you the legitimacy of what we do and how sometimes we get hit, sometimes we don't. But no further than that, just a little bit of ways was an old bridge structure right here in Harper's Ferry, or around Harper's Ferry, about 10 minutes before we just got on the air. Excuse me, and we did get some hits. I mean, we got a lot of voices. We were using a new piece of equipment that actually can hear the voices and actually will report temperature. So we were getting highs and lows on the temperature, which was really interesting. So hope to share that with you once we get back. Go to our WereWooFS website if you've never been to it, because I'm trying to post everything in there. All of our paranormal, ghost hunting stuff. You can hear the dogs, so you know they want to go. You know this is they love the run. But I can't resist when I have such a beautiful full moon looking at us.
I got a comment that says they can't really hear you.
Oh, okay. Thank you for letting me know. So let me see. Yeah, we're not connected. That's why.
Okay.
Let me see that, Curtis.
All right.
Let me see where we're at. All I gotta do is oh, it should be connected. Oh, it might be on mute. Let me see. Do you have the it in there? Okay. Let me see. No, not yet. Appreciate you letting us know when you can hear us. Looks like we should be connected. Yeah. Let us know if you can hear us again, folks, because it's looking like we're connected. Actually, I can check it on my phone once. Let me do that. If you can let us know if you can hear us, that'd be great. I really want to share with you what we're feeling out here on the trail. And I know it's late. It's almost 2 in the morning. What we do, we're out here, especially, this is so crucial for the dogs to get their runs in. And as you can see, we do whatever it takes to get their exercise. So I can check right here. Sometimes it's a Facebook hit now, it becomes a problem. Go to the feed now on this side. You can hear it sound. Okay, they can't hear us. I can see mine. Let me see something here. Does this say? What's this say? Phone? I don't like hers.
You don't?
That's why.
Okay. Okay, folks, I'm back with you. This is WooFDriver. You're live with us on the Potomac River, the C&O Canal Trail. I'm doing some photographs here, so I apologize. We've been out here for roughly 2 hours. We've already explored abandoned lock house, which was pretty intact. We think it's a lock house. It had a really cool chimney structure in it, but it had no roof. We explored it for paranormal activity. We got no hits. We're with the wolf pack, obviously, but doing the ghost hunting and paranormal, looking for paranormal activity gives them a chance to rest. So therefore, they can get their exercise in, do a little bit, get rest, because it's a little warm out here, obviously, as well as provide some entertainment. So, and we get to learn about the history of where we're at, etc. So I'm just going to take a couple pictures here. As I get going, I will give you details of everything. If you could, folks, leave some comments, ask some questions. Let us know what you enjoy, how you're seeing the ride here, and all that good stuff. And I got to take these pictures. You didn't hear me before. This is about 3/4 of a moon. It's truly beautiful. So I want to get these pictures in while we can, because you don't always get this. And let's see if I can get the wolf pack in with this moon. It's just truly awesome. On the phone? Okay, I can take care of that. And I think we should. Right after this picture. Okay, one more if you don't mind, folks. Stay, guys. Don't fall back. It's a doozy, huh? So this is really cool. You can see to what extents I go to get the dogs proper exercise. I mean, a lot of people will say, oh, they're huskies, you can't do anything with them in the summer. Well, that's not exactly true. If you do things smartly and take your time and read your dog's body posture, you can do a lot with them. Red, I need, where's that bike case? Is that on the back with me?
Do you need them cords?
Yep, the cords. I need both. I'm going to let you grab them. So, now I can focus on you folks. I'm sorry. Basically, what happens is, I take the dogs, I try to work them out in some way year-round. They're huskies, they're high energy, and they've got an insatiable appetite to always occupy their mind. And they do that through activities. So if they don't get the proper activities, they look for a way of satisfying this quest. And that might be digging holes in the yard. That might be escaping out of somebody's yard. They're known to be Houdinis, climbing tall fences, jumping over tall fences, as well as digging under them and finding other ways to get out. Cool, let's try this. And then I need, yep, one of the black things. What's up? Okay. So what we're doing now is, you can understand this is quite a technical myriad of procedures we do here to be able to live broadcast on the run. If you're familiar with the WooFDriver channel, you see a lot of the broadcast on there, and a lot of them are done from people's where they live and where they're at. So it's a little easier to give a good signal, to get a good signal, as well as to, where can I put that? As well as to keep something charged that they're broadcasting on, etc. Out here in the field, we simply have available signal. There's no Wi-Fi, and we have the battery capabilities of the phone we're on. We can't really plug it into a wall, but we carry devices that help us do that. Tell me when you're ready, guys. Rhett? Oh. Tonight, I didn't mention the crew. All 4 dogs, if you're not familiar, Zara's on my left. Chase is on my right. Behind Chase is Jag. And to the left behind Zorro is Princess. Okay, ready? Here we go. Hike. Okay, so we're on just a little bridge. And again, I stopped to take some pictures. We're entering the, we're on the edge of Harper's Ferry. And Harper's Ferry is a very historic town. This whole area that the C&O Trail and Canal are on are very historic. A lot of Civil War battles took here, or played a part in the Civil War, as well as even the settlement of America. There's Fort Frederick, which goes way back to them, to when we were fighting the British. So tons of history here, very interesting, and it's a great place to explore for paranormal activity, as well as to run the dogs, because it's 184.5 miles of trail that's pretty much unencumbered by road traffic. It does cross some roads, but for the most part, small ones, and the gates on this trail are very easy to maneuver through. Very nice. Cool. So what I was saying, sorry to signal again, it's the technology. The C&O is just full of history, and it's a nature preserve, for lack of a better description. There's tons of awesome landscapes, from literally mountains to the prairie, to flat lands, farmlands surround it in some place or border this trail, as well as the thicket of the woods and cliffs, mountains, all as this parallels the Potomac River for the most part, I think the whole way through. Okay. So, again, we're going to cut out. Come on, guys. We're going to cut out here on and off. But hopefully you are the late night viewers. Hopefully you're checking it out. Hopefully you've seen WooFDriver before. If you're not familiar with me, I'll just go through it real quick. I run a team of Huskies. They're my dogs, and there's 4 of them. 3 are white, and 1 is actually looks. The white ones don't really look like Huskies because they're all white. They look a little more like Samoyeds, and they got the long woolly coat, which means their hair's long, and so they're pretty fluffy. Not quite as fluffy still as a Samoyed, but approaching that look. And the one that looks more like a Husky actually has some Malamute in them. So go figure, right? In any case, I've got 4 of them. 3 are males, and 1 is a female. The males are all about 6 years old. The female's better than 12. I've had her since she's been 4, so I've had her for about 8 years plus, and the males I've had since puppies. Those of you that are familiar with Huskies, they are a very independent breed, and they require a lot of activity. And you have to find an activity. It's not just picking a ball and throwing it and getting them to bring it back to you. They've got more challenging needs, for lack of a better description there. So we do all kinds of activities. This activity you're on now, I call it fur wheeling or urban mushing, because you'll notice the dogs are on the side and they're not out in front. And we're doing this at night because it's summertime, of course. Yeah, she's just marking her area. Come on, guys. And dogs are picking up on a scent, so they're stopping and they're excited, and they might pick up speed at any time. My job is to balance them, because no matter what dogs you have, you've always got the fastest dog and the slowest dog, so we don't want to go faster than our slowest dog can go, of course. But at the same time, we want to keep it challenging enough for the fastest dogs, so we can put them in front, as you see, and they can engage a little more with pulling. And the slower dogs can go slower because the other dogs are pulling, so they can't focus on the speed as much. And the slower dogs in the back can trot along with it and still get their exercise. We got something ahead, folks. Okay, you got something going on up here. Got animals ahead, animals ahead. Okay, you don't know what you're going to... We don't know what we're going to run into on this trail. This is the dark and night. We're using night vision equipment and lights. I'm getting mud flicked everywhere on me, folks. I don't know where even the mud's coming from. If it's, so I don't know what it is. If it's dirt, no, it's dirt. And the dogs pick up on a scent. As I said, they put their nose to the ground. I knew they were into something, and then they picked up speed. We'll crest speeds at this level at about 15 miles per hour. Again, I'm going to balance it out. I ride the brake more than I ride anything else. What I mean by that is there's a motor on board that I...
Remember that big hill. Remember that big hill up ahead.
Thank you. 10 for that. So Rhett's just telling me we've been on this trail before in the past, and there's a big hill coming up, and if we don't get the right speed, it could be problematic for the bike. So It's a little bit of everything going on here, and that's what wolf driving's all about, folks. The equipment I'm on, this is all custom made or custom modified. Okay. Whoa. Whoa. Easy, guys. Easy. Just let the... Oh. You might want to just pull her in a little bit, just to make sure she... Oh. Howdy, howdy. Hello, hello. Oh, yeah. Okay, we set. So what happens? Come on, guys. Haul over. Now we had someone walking down the trail on top of it, and that could have been what the dogs picked up on. They could have. What's that?
It might be.
Yeah. What they see movement. Dogs. Their vision isn't like a human. So as they say, if they were able to read like a newspaper, if you put it near them, they couldn't see it. They're more farsighted, where they see further away, and their eyes are made to detect movement. So it might not be so much as seeing the shape or detail of an object or what's ahead, but they can sense the movement better than a human, is my understanding. We're at the 61-mile marker, by the way, folks, if anyone wants to Google Earth this and see the actual lay of the trail, where we're at along the Potomac and the C&O Canal. So they might have just seen that movement, and that's might have been, they get excited because it's a possibility. These, they're dogs, so they're prey-driven, and if they see something move ahead, that's something they can get involved with, they feel. Now, obviously, they're tethered to the bike, so they're going to have limited or no engagement with which was ever ahead, which was a person. So, kind of unusual. You see people out here 2 in the morning. I thought we were the only ones crazy enough to be out there, but apparently there's a few other people. Now, this time of year, you might actually catch other people. We've run into a lot of kids usually. And actually in this area, because Harper's Ferry is a pretty populated area, relatively speaking, where the trail goes through. And it's a beautiful area during the day. It's awesome. So we're getting the dogs their exercise. I touched on the topic that a lot of people say, you can't do anything with them in the warmer months. Well, folks, I've been 20 years plus with Huskies, and I've always found that they need an energy release all year long. Now, I'm not saying we're going to get out there and be pulling this like we do in the winter, this vehicle I'm on. No way. But that doesn't preclude them from at least getting out here, getting some mileage in, and getting there to air it out some. And that includes Princess, who's 12 and a half. In fact, if she doesn't get her activity in, when she's a little more sedentary, if we don't get out for a few days, you'll actually see some arthritis kick in on her. So she needs to keep her joints mobile. That's just awesome there. There's something about being out at night, in the quiet of the night, with a team of dogs and riding along a river with a moonshine. It's just really incredible. Awesome. So if you do hear occasionally, I will kick the motor in here, depending on, you get to different parts of the trail, might be a little hill or something we need to climb, or the dogs, for whatever reason, might need a little assistance. This is an aluminum frame bike, so the weight is kept down to as minimal as possible. It's built with all bike parts, and that's why we get a lot of mechanical failures, because we want to keep this trail within trail regulations by not being anything more than a bike. So we do that by using all bike parts. But the problem is, because we're putting a lot of strain on it, because if you can imagine, the dogs are pulling on it some, and in here we have 2 people in this bike, and we have water. We carry 5 gallons, which is 40-50 pounds right there. Whoa, do you see this? It's beautiful.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I got to get a picture. Can you lean forward, Curtis?
Yeah. Oh, it looks beautiful on the picture.
Yeah. Oh, you showing people? Great. So you're getting a view across the Potomac. And the Potomac divides, for the most part, Maryland and Virginia. Just want to get the camera. oh, sorry, dude.
We're coming up with the bridge, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Get it from the top of the bridge.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I might do that, too. So we're coming across, we'll be coming up on a railroad bridge. Oh, awesome. And we've been here when the actual railroad's been up there. I'm going to go a little bit down this hill. Pardon me if I fall. Yeah, it looks, it's only grass down there, so if I would fall, it wouldn't be too bad. So I'm just trying to get the moon and the dogs. Hopefully Curtis is giving you some views of the moon. It's truly awesome. If you got any questions, folks, or any comments, I'd love to hear them. And I'd love to give you a shout out also. We're out of Maryland. That's our home base. We're about 2 hours from home here, so we're not far at all. And we travel all over the East Coast to be able to do this urban mushing, winter and summer. In the winter, we're out there during the day, as you can imagine, and in the summer, we're out here in the evening, as we are right now. We're in the dark of the night. And now I'm using some real specialized cameras to get this. Same thing, what you're looking through is a night vision scope. That's what we're broadcasting through, which means that's what the military developed, the U.S. military. That gives us eyes at night, and that's actually an advantage over someone we might be fighting, the military. And that technology is available. This is Generation 3, which is one of the highest technologies, and really sees good at night. That's why you're able to see so clearly. So these cameras I'm using have a similar technology. They actually have they're infrared and full spectrum, which means that most cameras filter out the infrared light. These cameras let it in, so you take in more available light, which gives you a brighter view of anything you're photographing. And full spectrum is not visible light to us, but the camera can see it. You get some really cool effects. And we've become experts and specialists at this kind of photography and this kind of equipment. You can check out my libraries on Flickr. I mean, it's got about 15,000 pictures, and a lot of them are devoted to the nighttime activities we do. So I'm going to put this away. Here you go, Red. No, sorry, bud. Hey, Curtis, can I see that screen for a sec? See if anybody's saying anything. Cool. Okay, no, I see no. The comments are hard. I'm going to look on my other phone because sometimes the comments don't come through on where we're broadcasting from. So we've got so much to tell you, folks, and I'm sorry if it seems a little cut up here. I'm just trying to take pictures, keep everybody entertained, and keep an eye on the dogs and all that good stuff. I'd love to. I'm going to be able to look at questions right now if there's any comments or anything that I can address, and we'll get going here in a sec, and then you'll be able to hear everything. How's the picture now, Curtis? Clear, the clarity, the brightness.
Good, yeah.
Cool.
I think the
Clarity, the brightness. Okay, great. I hear. Okay, I see it. Okay, I see some questions. Great. I'm trying to lower the volume on this phone. I'm monitoring this through two phones. Kitty Cat, hi there. Great to see you. What's going on is we're running the dogs in the dark of the night because it's too hot during the day to run them. And at night, the cool temperatures, and we're not competing with the sun beating down on the surface that we're running on as well as beating down on them. So this gives them a chance to get some exercise. It also gives us a chance to do a little bit of ghost hunting. So pretty cool stuff. I see Curtis is showing you the moon. It's just absolutely gorgeous. I've adjusted the hearing, so hopefully you can hear me. I see Saeed, I believe it is. Great, thank you so much. It's a bit low. Okay, yeah, when I go far away, yes, I'm trying to stay close. Kitty Cat, she's had her fill of paranormal activities to go. Hope we don't run into anything bad. Yeah, well, that's why we got the ghost hunter with us. So hey, your IRs are off. Did you know that? Let me see if I can turn them on.
I can't see where it makes any difference.
No? Turn them on once. I think because it was turned down, or it's not working.
It's not working. It doesn't make any difference.
Yeah. Hey, Rhett, can you, oh, there it goes.
There it goes. That made a big difference.
There we go. Okay, good. So now we got some brighter visuals for you there. Sorry, this is a lot of equipment we're balancing here, plus with the dogs, and we're ghost hunting, we're doing all kinds of stuff. But in any case, let me see what Saeed is saying. The first time you're watching, Paranormal Activity will be glued to my PC now. Huskies, yes. Please show the Huskies. So Curtis is going to show you. We have 4 Huskies. And Cynthia says hello. Hello, Cynthia. Turn up your sound. Okay, hopefully, I know you can hear me because I was just hearing me. Okay, great. Great. Okay, so I'm going to go through the whole dissertation. We're set here. You good, Rhett? Okay, folks. So let me start out. We are in Harper's Ferry, West Virginia. We're approaching it. Come on, guys. Hike. I've got a team of Huskies with me, my dogs. Chase, Zorro, Princess, and Jag. We go out mushing, urban mushing we call this, because they're not out in front, as you see, in the middle of the night because it's too hot to do during the day. As you can imagine, we're in the warm summer months now. This gives them a chance to get out, get some, release some energy, burn up their wick a little bit, I call it, and stay in shape. And for Princess, she's the oldest one of the pack, it keeps her joints mobile. We combine this with an activity like ghost hunting because I've been fortunate enough to connect with Curtis, who's with us in the back seat and actually filming the show here. And Curtis, got the hill coming up. Yep, I'm gonna hit some speed here. Got a hill coming up, folks, and we got to get some speed because you can imagine we're 2 people in here and the dogs cannot pull this. Come on, guys. Okay, so there we go. Coming now. It's a little bumpy through here, so we're gonna be careful. And we've got a house that's across the street. That house. Any structures we see, we will try to explore. And that's why Curtis is with us, and we have ghost hunting and paranormal hunting equipment with us as well. We're getting down to a pretty famous railroad bridge. I don't know if Curtis can give you a shot of this, but this bridge actually houses the railroad. The railroad uses it, and it goes through the mountain there, and it's quite a sight during the day. We've been here. This is a live railroad tracks. Again, they're above us on a bridge. But we've been here during the day, and we've actually seen it at night, where the train disappears into the tunnel, and it's truly an awesome sight. And plenty of history here. There's an old railroad bridge that I believe parallels this newer bridge, and I don't even know how new this bridge is, but the older railroad bridge you can actually walk on. It goes through the park somewhere, and I've done that before. So pretty interesting and very cool. So right now we're crested between, we got mountains to the left of us, the mountain I was explaining where the railroad goes through as it crosses the bridge. And then to the right we've got the Potomac River with mountains on the other side of that. So it's spectacular views, especially during the day. We're getting a pretty good lay of the land because the moon is pretty bright tonight. So truly awesome. Right now we've got in about 4 miles. We've been out here for about 2.5 hours. We've taken our time. I know a couple people have commented about the paranormal activity. What happens is the equipment we have with us now is a spirit box and what's the other thing?
A REM pod.
A REM pod. So one of those devices, the spirit box, scans the radio waves, I believe. Whoop. Zara's just giving a scent. He's marking his scent, letting other dogs know to come through here. He's been here, and other animals, I should say. The spirit box will scan the waves, listening for voices, for ghosts or paranormal, and we have picked up on some before, and it's so cool because we have some of the evidence on tape. We've explored some really cool areas. This is Curtis's 3rd trip with us, and he's taught us a lot, and he's an expert at what he does, and it's fascinating, truly is. And I'm always intrigued by other energies that are out there and paranormal possible activity. I've witnessed it, so I know it's there. And ghost hunting. And was able to hook up with Curtis, and we've been exploring some pretty cool areas. Where we're at in the country, there's some really interesting historic areas, and again I'm incorporating this in with running it with the dogs. So especially it's easier to do this for us, come on guys, in the summer months, the paranormal activity hunting, because that's when the dogs need more rest because it's warm out. They'll be able to do a little bit of a run, then they need to slow down and take a break. During the winter, they have a lot more energy because, you see, dogs are inefficient at cooling. So they spend a lot of their time panting to cool themselves down, and that takes a lot of energy. So if you combine that with trying to run, that's where they deplete their energy altogether, and they could risk overheating, which could be very serious, fatal even. So you have to be very careful there. But at the same time, we want to get them exercise, so we balance that all together. During the winter, they're not panting as heavy, so therefore they don't need as much energy from their body to perform that function of cooling down by panting, which is not efficient, as I said, but it's the only way they cool. So therefore, in the winter, they can go further, quicker, and really achieve some high-end speeds in extreme long distances without rest or without much rest. Hence activities such as the Iditarod. You see the sled dogs, and we got one of the dogs going to the bathroom there. Good boy. Yeah, let's do a little bit of water here. Curtis, you want to lean forward?
Yeah.
Great. And you can keep filming Curtis from there. Curtis is going to show you. I just want to get my Coke. Where's it at? Okay, cool. Curtis is going to film as we water the dogs. On the back of the dog cart, we have a 5-gallon water dispenser. And we fill it up every trip. And we have collapsible bowls that, in turn, I sell. I got to get this picture I just saw. Some of the products I use, yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? Some of the products I use are really hard to find. And they're good for everybody, and not just doing the activities I do. For instance, these are collapsible water bowls that have buttons on them. So people that bike, people that take their dogs anywhere can take this water bowl. It doesn't have to be doing the way I'm mushing, but they're really nice for us because they go around a bike and they collapse so they can fit almost anywhere. Nah, they drank before. I guess they're good. Also, as we run sometimes, depending on the weather, sometimes the trail will have a lot of puddles. And when we're out here in the wilderness, it's fine for the dogs to drink from the puddles. So they'll water themselves. And in the snow, it's really pretty incredible because we almost never have to water them when there's snow on the ground because they enjoy, like a snow pop, just licking the snow as we go. Pretty incredible. Hand me that camera when you can, dude. So, a lot of times you'll see Doug out here with us too. He's a professional photographer, and he's taught me what I know with taking these IR pictures, which is a whole nother aspect of photography. I'm going to take this moon. Is just incredible, nestled in the mountains there. Well, I can't quite get. There we go. Nah, I think we're good. What's up? They look like an orb? Really? So Curtis is finding orbs right here on the trail. That's pretty impressive, to say the least. That's cool. Yeah, any paranormal activity. In addition to paranormal activity, we run into nocturnal animals, which is so cool also. So you never know what we're going to find out here, what we're going to run into. Having the dogs with us helps us in that aspect because they detect, they sense these animals from the smell of them, and they have their own capabilities of seeing in the dark. That's okay. Can't quite get what I want. Folks, there's bugs everywhere here. That's why you hear me coughing and choking. everything else I'm doing.
Whoa, I just saw something crazy.
What'd you see?
I have no idea, man.
Dude, is this the tracks? Or is that the dogs? That's
Like, that was weird. It might have just been our dude. Like, on the ground was an orb, and I went like this. Weird.
he said he saw an orb.
You can look on the camera. Dude, it was on the ground, and it like came up. This was something that was like, yeah, about that big. It was about the size of the top of my foot.
Really?
Like, I've seen it like twice. Dude, it just came across.
Is it? Where's it at?
It like keeps circling back.
Oh, I see it. So, folks, if you can see what we're seeing on the screen, please let us know.
See all the bugs. See all the bugs look the same. Yeah.
He's saying all the bugs look the same, but there's like orbs. And orbs are the sign of paranormal activity, some sort of spirit or energy. So, pretty interesting. If you're seeing that, please let us know. Because we're seeing it on the screen as we broadcast. I want you to know that my wife tells me, don't bring any of this stuff home, any of these spirits or paranormal activity or whatever we may be experiencing out there. It's a little challenge. I'm just trying to get the moon on the camera. And you got to keep it because the shutter stays open longer. And you got to keep the camera real still. You really need a tripod, which I don't have out here. It's too much to carry. You go, Rhett. Where's that Coke?
I put it back. My bad.
I just want to get... No, it's okay. These things are flying in my throat.
That was weird. My feet, dude. I feel it.
Really?
Yeah.
He's detecting energy around here, too, so...
You go with the count?
Oh, my God. That felt good. Thank you, sir. So, temperature's probably in the high 70s right now. Could be the mid 70s. The problem is the humidity's high, so the air's thick. And that's why we're feeling warm. It's certainly not too much for the dogs. I know people worry about that a lot, but it's more than fine. I know what to look for, and I know the signs. I've been doing this for pretty much whatever in a day. Okay, ready, guys? Hike. Cool. So, you see me here. You'll hear me give some sled dog commands. Is right there. I said hike. A lot of people think it's mush to start up, but it's actually hike. And my dogs do all know pretty much all the sled dog commands, with the addition of some. They'll know back up because, as you can imagine, this vehicle I'm on, the two-seater bikes, are 10 foot in length plus. So a lot of times these trails are only 6 feet wide, if that. So if we have to turn around or make a narrow point turn, sometimes we may have to back up some. Oh, she was peeing? Okay. Come on, guys. And so I had to teach them to back up. Dogs are really marking this area. It's probably a lot of animals have been through here. And again, we're always going at the dog's pace. We're letting them handle the trail as they want. We do this for them. But we've actually, as you can see, we've made it a whole adventure. That's what makes it so cool. That's the wheel. Probably, if Crispy, he's our support guy, if he's watching, the right wheel seems to be giving problems, and that's usually the sign the bearings are going up. And maintaining these bikes is a constant job, a full-time job pretty much, because they're, again, very specialized. The parts are very sensitive, and we're putting them to the test. And these are going through some pretty extreme conditions. Tonight it's, for the most part, dry. So you get the dust and you get the dirt that might get seeded between all the working and moving mechanisms. And then these bikes will get wet. They'll go through snow. We'll ride these through 2 or 3 inches of snow. You can go through my video library on YouTube and catch that. And then they'll bake in the sun when we're not on them. Sometimes they're riding on top of our vehicles, catching the road dirt, and whatever the wind is doing to them on top of it. So they take a lot of abuse. They're pretty incredible for what they are. I've had a lot of these for, I'm going to say, some of them as old as 7-8 years. Some of my original ones are Seiko carts. And the Seiko cart actually does have the dogs out in front. That's what they use to train lead sled dogs. It's a product that used to be made in Norway. It's really cool, and I still have some, and I actually used to sell them too. What I was alluding to before, I sell a lot of products. I don't really do it so much for the business end. I did it more excuse me, to offer people a way to find some of these cool products I use, because they were... Oh yeah, should we stop at that lock? That's an old lock. I guess you wouldn't have anything there, would you? Is there a house? No. Is that worth it? Or you don't think so? No? Okay. Okay, let's go. Hike. So, no worries. That's good. So, Rhett, we're trying to be very vigilant, looking for places to explore, to do our paranormal ghost hunting. Again, we're set up for it tonight. We've got the right personnel with us, and we've got the right equipment. And it's a good time. It gives the dogs time to rest as well. They've gotten plenty of rest in so far. In fact, they probably would have protested a little bit by a little bit of whine and a little bit of howling, like, let's go, we've already done that. But because since our last stop, it's only been maybe a mile and a half, about 20 minutes ago. So they like to get in at least 3 or 4 miles at least in between stops. But it doesn't always work that way, depending on what we find. Sometimes we don't find anything, as you can imagine. Sometimes we found that, even if you can find just small remnants of a structure, I've learned this from Curtis, you can go and do your ghost hunting there because something was there at one point and the spirits or energy could still be lurking. Which we found in some, they are. So this is really interesting stuff. And again, I created a website before I met Curtis about all this, and now I'm actually doing it, so it's very exciting. And the most exciting part is incorporating the dogs into it for me, because it's just another activity I can do with the dogs and enjoy time with them and keep it a memorable and exciting experience. So what we do, we're moving here roughly 3.5 to 4 miles per hour, so pretty much a walking pace, which is perfect. They will sprint if we see deer ahead or other animal scents, or they get excited by something. They'll sprint. They can get up to speeds up to 15 miles per hour on the bike. I mean, they can, by themselves, they can crest speeds close to 30 miles per hour. I've clocked them. I use a radar gun off leash. Greyhounds are one of the fastest fastest dog breeds, and they're 40 miles per hour or so. So usually like shepherds and huskies are in your 30 mile per hour range. A lot of articles about this on one of my websites. We've got 30 plus websites from all the everything I've documented, the activities we've done, the knowledge I've gained, and the subjects I've wanted to explore further. And one of the websites is called WooFDriver Project, and I talk about in there about speeds of animals and even bite strength. Crossing mile marker 60, folks. We've got in roughly 5 miles right now. We set out to do anywhere from 10 to 15 this evening, and that's all dog dependent, how they feel, and also time dependent. We've been on these trails a lot of times. We'll ride all through the night and catch the sunrise. So depending on how we're doing and how they're doing will determine the actual distance. Usually in the cooler temperatures, we can get a more accurate gauge on what distance we're going to cover, because we know they're going to fare pretty good through a cold day. We know what they got in them, and we know, usually we can tell what time it'll take. But with these kind of adventures, especially where we're ghost hunting, and we have to be much more cognizant of the dogs because of the warmer weather, so there's a lot of variables. It's nice when it's colder out because we can't last as long, meaning the humans, as long as the dogs, but the dogs can get their mileage in relatively quickly because they can cover more mileage quicker because of the cold weather, as I said. So if you could see this right now, we're in the dark of the night. Yes, I do have a headlight on the bike, but you're getting an actual brighter view because, again, you're looking through night vision equipment, which is assisted by IR lights. So the night vision scope uses infrared technology, which is not a visible light to humans, but to the camera, it's very visible, and it turns it into, the camera does, into a light ray that we can see, for lack of a better description. There are some puddles around here, and as I explained, the dogs will drink out of them, and I will allow them to when we're back in the nature, in the wilderness, because it's not coming into contact. Whoa, not coming into contact with cars and the possibility of equipment and chemicals and that kind of stuff being in the water. So we're just stopping for a quick bathroom break for Princess. Good girl. Bless you. You okay? Come on, Princess. Good girl. Yeah, the dust is getting, that's what it is. That's what I was saying. It's so dry, but then we see a couple puddles. So one of the benefits of exercise for pretty much anyone and getting the dogs out is it gets them to go to the bathroom a lot, so which is healthy for them. And you'll see us take a lot of bathroom breaks for the dogs. Now, on a real sled dog team, they won't actually stop the team for each dog to go to the bathroom. It would be pretty much not possible. And by the time they could stop the team, the dog would be done going to the bathroom. So the dogs learn to go to the bathroom on the run. With me, I know when the dogs are going. Again, I have my team with me. Someone will say, oh, you know, for me to slow up, I can usually sense it by the way the dogs are running. One of them might have to go to the bathroom. And if not, again, that's why we use the Springer. So it wouldn't jerk the dog, it wouldn't jerk the bike, but it would put a little pressure on it to tell me that, hey, the dog's stopping or slowing down to do a bathroom break. A lot of what I'm saying now is available through my videos and through my websites. You'll get that information from, but I like explaining it for those of you that are new or might not have heard me before. This Facebook Live streaming is really cool. That's just the wheel, folks, if you've heard that, because it gives us a chance to share the activity we're doing live. Of course, it is cell phone dependent, so we lose signal real easily sometimes, and it precludes us from broadcasting. Like we weren't able to broadcast when we explored the houses back there. You can go back in my library, actually my website, alldognetwork.com, and you can see some of our ghost hunting videos where we broadcast live. We were able to. We had a signal, and it's pretty cool stuff. And I just mentioned there's a lot of shows on my WooFDriver channel from dog experts and animal lovers, and it's just so many. It's bigger than a network, bigger than a regular cable network. All about dogs. That's pretty loud. That's just the bridge. Hear the cars. We are through the outskirts. As I said, we're getting away from Harper's Ferry, but there's some highways, some major highways through here. We're going under a bridge, I think. Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Wow, big word.
Wow. That's awesome. Is that a railroad bridge or is that a car bridge? The C&O Trail, for those of you that don't know, starts in Washington, D.C., actually. And as I said, it goes 184.5 miles to Cumberland, Maryland. We've done the whole trail, not at one time, but in sections over the course of, actually, we set out to do wire to wire in a year, and I mean in what I was calling a season at the time. It was mostly the winter, and we did it with the dogs, but we come back here a fair amount because it's just such a rich in history and in nature trail, and it lends itself really well to this urban style mushing that I'm doing. And the surface is really nice, gives the dogs a lot of shade in the warmer time like now, but even in the spring when it's still nice out, cooler, not quite winter temperatures, it shades them from the sun, which even in the spring the sun can get kind of warm of it just beating down on you. So tonight we had some interesting broadcasts on. If you caught Carol Anderson, she's the wrote the book Paw Prints of Wisdom, which teaches you about, just tells about how dogs can enhance our lives in so many ways, which I know we all are aware of, being animal lovers that we are, but she articulates it so nicely in her book and puts it together really well. And her book's becoming a big hit. It's for sale on Amazon as well as Cracker Barrel, and I'm assuming some other retail establishments. Her shows are always very interesting and, of course, very dog-centric. She's also a motivational, positive speaker. Dean Miller followed her this evening. You might have caught him. He's usually on Thursdays and Sundays, but he was on Friday this week, and he is an expert dog trainer, one of the best in the country, and I love his style of training. He explains it really well, and he'll actually train over Skype, or he'll fly anywhere you are, pretty much, I think, in the world, he said. So just watching his show will make you realize aspects of dogs you probably never knew, and give you fresh ideas of stuff you can do with your dogs to train them, maybe unwanted behaviors you have, or just to do other things with them that you might not have known was possible, and also explaining why they do certain behaviors they do. So he was on this evening at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and followed by him was Bucky Harris, the Wolf Diddy we call him. And Bucky is has a lot of history with myself, the Wolf Driver, because of his musical background, and we collaborated. He made all my stories and adventures into songs. I wrote them, and he produced them into some really incredible songs, from rap music to R&B to rock and roll to everything in between. And he's got his own little Wolf Diddy show where he does pretty much an hour-long broadcast. He writes dog ditties, and then he actually records them. And they're really cute, fun, funny, and educational. And he's more like a talk show, like you might see Jay Leno, if you will, or Jimmy Fallon. It's funny, and some of his expressions are really a riot. I thoroughly enjoy watching his show. Seinfeld's one of my favorite shows. I might be showing my age by saying that, but he makes me laugh as hard as that show. So right now we're going at a really slow pace because dogs have been going for a little while at a good pace, so I'm slowing them up. And we'll probably do a water break soon, depending how they feel. I can see their language and how they're moving. Bike's making a lot of noises here. It probably needs to be checked. And you can hear the train, folks. This might drown me out, but it might give you some cool views. I don't know where it's going to come into view. It's really close to us, folks. Can you give them a view of that? Yeah, the train is right to the left. Wow. And you can see how well the dogs... That looks like a passenger train, too. You can see how well the dogs aren't even fazed by it. And that's 30 feet away from us. because we've done so many activities and we've run into so many areas going over narrow bridges and busy roadways and near trains and all kinds of vehicles. The dogs have built such a confidence about them because I've shown them and comforted them the whole way, as well as they've had great experiences. And none of these vehicles that we've come near or bridges or structures we've crossed has had any bad effects. It's all been positive. And sometimes you do get bad effects or have a bad incident, but you can turn that into a positive real easily. Just like they say with a child, if the child falls and you make a big deal out of it, the child's going to be like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to hurt. But when you pick the child right back up and say, hey, everything's good, and you laugh and you smile and you tickle them and you say it's all good, they probably will get over it a lot quicker. So obviously sometimes the child could be hurt. You'd have to address that appropriately accordingly, but just with the dogs and with people, just trying not to make a big deal out of stuff can really help keeping everything positive. And that's the way I train. So there's also another dog trainer on the channel, Joseph Falcone, and he had a really good show this week too. He's on twice a week as well, on Mondays and Wednesdays at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And he had Stacy, the Mutt Man. I forget his last name, but really interesting character. And he's a celebrity dog trainer. I was listening to him and very impressed with what he was saying. I like his approach. He's talking about how we communicate with animals is through vibrations, through our voices. Obviously, I mean, we could train them to understand words, but it's the tones they're listening to and the vibrations that are tones of the vocals that we directed our dogs give off. And even we don't necessarily direct them, but they can sense our emotions, whether we're angry, sad, happy, whatever, and how we project our selves. They can manipulate or feed off of those vibrations, as he would say, and that comes in how you train them and how you communicate with your animal and the experience that you have. So very interesting. If you get a chance, you can go again on the All Dog Network and check out his show, The Mutt Man. And they're out of Vegas, Joseph Falcone and the Mutt Man. And they went to a dog park. That's where it was just real spontaneous how they did the show. People were in the dog park and they came up to them and interviewed a few people and worked with their dogs a little bit and actually tried to get some business out of it for his training. So pretty cool. Pretty much reality TV at its finest. Commercial free, thanks to Facebook. That was a great show also. Also, I want to mention we have Barbara Kurtman, who's the animal communicator. Barbara's show, she's out of Europe. We're all over the world, by the way, and that's the beauty of Facebook and the internet. This technology can connect us all in seconds. So Barbara's an animal communicator, crossing the 59-mile marker, folks. So we're better than 6 miles right now. Hello, guys. When we go slow, sometimes the dogs think that's an opportunity to just stop and just start marking land and stuff like that. And I want to keep them, even though we're going slow, at a steady pace. They'll get a chance to mark the territory and rest as they would like, but I don't want them to do it every 3 seconds because that will preclude us from getting to where we're trying to go. But Barbara's an animal communicator, and she's got a great show. She's on Mondays and Wednesdays. No, excuse me, Tuesdays. And she's on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 o'clock. She's wonderful. She's got some really heartfelt stories and does some animal readings that are simply beautiful and very deep. Tell the stories. Hearing a lot of creaking on the bike. Crispy, if you're watching, got to check the bike. Sometimes it just gets like that because, as I said, all the weathering it does, but sometimes the real dry weather will do that to it. As everything becomes dry, it just needs to be lubricated using some special stuff we use on the bike, such as WD-40, but not quite that. Certain greases and other lubricants. Sorry I can't really get to your questions. If Curtis sees them at all, he might be able to relay them to me. But because of the technology, again, sometimes they don't always show up in the feed till after we're done the broadcast. But I go back and try to address some of the questions or keep them in my mind for a future broadcast. And every once in a while, I'll do a WooFDriver chat where I'll get on the air. Weird smell. Smell that? I don't know what that is. Sometimes, we're very alert when we're out here just because you can come into contact, or at least you can come near skunks and other animals, as well as sometimes you get some nice smells, such as honeysuckles or florally smells from flowers, especially in the summer. So I'm always curious what's near us. And having limited visibility at night, your other senses become, you rely on them more because your vision is limited at night. So sounds and scents are the way we're going to know what's around us more. Dogs are running great. Truly this is truly a remarkable activity we do. I really do love it, and I've told the story many a times of how I got involved with this, but it was with my first two dogs, Czar and Hudson, and I realized their need for activity, and with living on the East Coast with the daylight savings time and it getting dark before I was even out of work, I had no choice but to be out at night with the dogs, or in the darkness, I should say, after work, to get them exercise. And that's what we basically did. And I did that for many years. That was in the winter. But now I do it more in the summer. Now my work schedule's changed, and I can go out during the day in the winter and enjoy the daytime with the dogs. But I do it at night because of the cooler temperatures in the warmer months. This bike's really nice because it does have the motor on it, so I can do the whole trail using the motor, and that just gives the dogs a chance to just trot, so they'll still get their exercise in, kind of just like a glorified walk, if you will. But doing 10 or 15 miles is still a good outing for them, even though it's just at a walking pace. So it seems like the moon might have dropped.
Yeah.
What's that? The moon dropped down?
Yeah, it got too low.
Yep. That's what happens. Next thing you know, we'll be hitting daybreak, but we're still, what are we at, 3 in the morning, you think? What? Yeah, about 3. Yeah. I think daybreak's around 5, so I don't know if we'll be on the trail still or not. No?
Oh, we're back on.
Are we?
Yep.
Okay, folks, so we're taking a breather here for the dogs, and Rhett's going to give them some water while